How you doing? Good?
Yeah, I keep them busy.
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Must be me.
Yep.
This is Councilman Kaczkowski and my good friend.
Dave Paradiso from Cat TV.
And
And also the Erie Makerspace I run as well.
that's true.
Yep. I got my hands in a little bit of everything.
I actually got some emails that said some gentleman was suggesting we use Cat TV a little more.
Yeah, we probably should. I mean, it's nice and available for the public, for people to come down and learn how to use the equipment and make shows. Pretty much videotape anything.
Yeah, DJ and I are still working on, I am trying to wind up maybe doing one of the radio shows on TV, which would be
That'd
a
be
little
kind of cool, too. Taping that. See, other people do talk shows like that as well, so it'd be kind of cool.
It'd be different.
Mm-hmm. That's something we don't have in the area here, so it would be kind of cool.
But yeah, Cat TV used to, well, it's still pretty good. You know, it has a lot of.
They got a bunch of members. It's just getting people down there and
Need some people with
utilizing the
some
place.
different ideas, you know.
Yes. That's the main thing. Different ideas, different things they want to be, people, what people want to see type of thing.
I'd like to see some people do comedy on there maybe again, you know.
Yeah, it's been a while since anything like that's been on there. A lot of what's on there is the local churches. But just getting other content takes a little bit. Well, it's just finding people that want to come down and do that type of content and want to make shows. And it's pretty affordable for the year. I mean, it's only $60 a year, so it's like $5 a month. So
That's
it's
not
like
bad.
dirt cheap.
Yeah, I used to, I remember I had a friend that we were talking about doing the indoor football show in there again, you know.
Right.
But they're out of business now, and that's a bad part. But
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what's happening locally around town is, different businesses closing up or letting go.
competition is tough, and the public is changing too now.
Yes. Well, the attitude of how people, what they want to see, what they want to do is different now than it was 20 years ago. I mean, a lot more is, you're more interconnected by the internet and social media and a different generation of, people working. I mean, there's not as much, it's a different type of work ethic now than there was, said, 20, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, things are calming down now, so the motorcycles are gone.
Yep, we're on the shores all cleaned up and closed up, so that's kind of good.
You can't even tell.
Yeah, which is good. That's a good sign then. It looks like it went over very well. There's a lot of bikes here.
Just a warning for those on 38th Street, though. Be careful. They're repaving East 38th Street, so use a little caution.
Yeah,
Take
hopefully
your
when
time.
it's done, it'll look a lot better. So, but it's a work in
The
progress.
parts they're doing already look pretty good, but
It's a work in progress. It's going to take a little while before it gets done.
yeah, they're trying their best to keep things moving, yet,
Also getting their work done as well. That's good.
which is tough.
Yep.
I used to remember when I was a kid, they would close the whole street down, actually, and just block it off. Even on the throughways,
Oh yeah, that would be. You can't really do that anymore because there's
But
so
the
many
little
more
towns
cars.
loved it, though, because, see,
Oh yeah, you'd narrow through and get right through the towns.
yeah, well, you had to go through these little burgs, and they were 2-lane roads, and
Yeah.
although everybody had to stop there and get their gas, and it was
Oh, of course.
huge backups.
Booming.
Because what the highway took away, it brought back when they constructed, when they would
Repair.
work on it. But
It's like they did that, and I think they did that on the Turnpike. There's one community that they were going to route the highway around it, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't do that because that was their main business." So that's part of the highway. You have to stop and get off, and then get back on.
what if you're talking about Breezewood? Like,
Yep, Breezewood.
Yeah, they don't want anything.
Yeah,
There is a minor bypass there now.
right, but not a whole lot. But that's where all the businesses. That's what
Yeah, they
they're
don't.
running.
That town started out of nowhere. It was like, it's a good place. I think they figured out it's a good place where the gas starts to run out.
Yep. Well, that and, it's
And
a
you
good,
need a break,
Food and stuff too. They got a lot of different restaurants there too. So it's a good stopping and rest point.
It's like the halfway mark to D.C.
Yep.
Something like that. But, yeah, not bad. I think we had a good show last week. I get a little feedback on that.
Yeah. I'm glad that, these things are starting to, plans are in the works and stuff's coming in.
Slow but sure.
My only concern is has the city or anybody looked into the backup of like what happens once all these big corporations and businesses start leaving the area that already are, like GE and the manufacturing sector?
I don't think they can
'Cause that's the other thing. Is,
Well,
you know,
what
I
can
mean,
you- what can
that's
you
a
read?
big, that's a big tax base that, you know, I mean, you can't really fill the void with tourism and small local business. You kind of need some type of,
Well, that's where local business, when you read about it, if you go back years ago, a lot of the businesses that are big today were little back then.
right,
But you had so many of them. But you always had the specter of, at least as long as I remember, you always had like the big three, like Hammermill, the Forge,
right.
GE, Lord, you know, or well, bigger than the big four, but you had, you know,
Yeah, the ones that they started out small, but they became really big, and that's what was supporting the area.
well,
for a
GE
while.
was kind of like the big giant when it came here.
Right,
But then a lot of them, like Lord's, which was local, they built up, you know. Hammermill was a paper company, which, you know, when I was young was pretty big.
yeah, that was a big place at one point. I mean,
And you had other things. You had the brewery, you know, things were, all the little places were still increasing all the time, but
Yeah, and now it's, you know, that's coming to what's all that's left. A lot of it is.
and if the
big
little
places
ones do grow, like the, you know, you take somebody, well, you take like Erie Insurance,
Yeah, they've been growing more and more, which is great.
right.
But it's hard to use one of those as one of the only backups for the area for tax
And
base.
you got like Smith's Provision, but they, you know, they're so big now too, you know. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the other stuff is gone. Like, you know, when you look at, we only got one dairy left, you know,
Yeah,
and all that stuff years ago. And a lot of that's due to, you know, they can ship the milk in from somewhere else, or
yeah. Well, a lot of more of it says that some of that unfortunate global economy that kind of doesn't help the local business because of how it's set up. I guess is the best way of putting it.
yeah. And those are the things that, so big if like say GE, wow, they're pretty much, they are leaving slowly.
Yeah. They've already put it in the works that they're planning on it already. Unfortunately.
I guess what you do is you try to build up what you got.
Yeah.
And then you hope.
Well, the other thing is having incentives to bring other people back into the area. I mean, some of these places that are empty and vacant, it's try to find either a bunch of small businesses to go in there or
What
try
they
to find a big business. But
what-
it's hard finding big business to come
what
in.
the big business wants is going to take some huge sacrifices. I won't mention them over the air, but
Right. Well, that's usually what they need to want to come into an area.
And it
they
goes
want
a-
to still be able to make money.
and it goes a lot deeper than merely tax breaks. You know,
Right.
it goes into the core of labor relations and everything. Mm-hmm. That's what they really want. And
That's a tough area to negotiate with as well.
well, not only that, then you change what used to be your, you know, what was a comfortable wage back then is now not a comfortable wage.
Right. Yeah. Now you can barely live off of it. That's a lot of the problem with the area is they've got some of the higher technical jobs and they're paying a little above minimum. It's not enough that you can survive off of.
No, and
that's a lot of what I see around the whole area is the inflation of the area is high for the cost of living, but then our jobs don't pay enough to offset that.
yeah, housing is cheap, but relatively like, you know, around the country, but
Right.
I still can't leave my house much, you know.
Right, exactly. It's tough to survive. But it's trying to find places that have be able to do the wages to be able to survive off of, just to even just comfortably or above poverty. Because unfortunately, in this area the economy isn't doing that great.
No,
To an extent.
it's a little sluggish.
Right, and that's the tough thing that I've seen is a small business can try and start up, but then it's finding incentives or enough to just stay afloat to keep running.
You can see the economy, how people view it from the outside by the quality of businesses that come here.
Right.
Okay, we don't have a lot of the upscale.
Exactly. That's the main thing is we don't have a lot of the nicer. That's up in Mill Creek and
But even there, they
or
don't
even
have
that,
a
it's not as high as what it could be.
Like even up there, to put one chain into perspective, okay, and not to degrade them, okay, but where we would have Olive Garden, other cities bigger or slightly better shape would have an Olive Garden and a Carrabba's.
Yeah, they'll be right next to each other, or at least in the area.
And they would have a Red Lobster and a Joe's Crab Shack. They would have some of the bigger Landry restaurants. They would probably get into like the Bonefish Grill, even from your grocery store aspect.
Right.
Where I think some view Wegmans as a top giant here.
Right, and I know that there's bigger ones than that as well.
And there's like Fresh Market and different ones like that. And the chances of seeing them are probably, slim.
Right, it's because we don't have the type of clientele that those businesses are looking for.
And even the giant rumors of Banana Republic and Cheesecake Factory and all them. And
yeah, it would be nice to have some of those in the area.
And the rumors that were circulating at that time, they may have looked at it, but it sure didn't go much further.
Right, it didn't pan out. Well, that's the tough part that I've seen for problem with small businesses is, you go and look around like a lot of just the industrial or industrial space or just commercial space, and it's between $600 and on up for a month's rent. It's like when they can't have enough just to barely for the cost of running the business, how are they able to afford enough for the leasing and such too?
And the letter I got from this gentleman, he's got his own little website, and he said landlords need to lower the rent.
Yeah.
But that's their call. We can't force it.
Right. Unfortunately, that's some of the attitude in the city that I see. The landlords aren't willing to sit down and take a chance on businesses anymore.
I guess as long as it's always saying is, can I make a little bit of money or do I want to make a lot of money?
Right.
And right now, I don't think, from what I see around town, I don't see a lot of people, dying to get in some of these rentals.
No.
So I mean,
that's the problem. Is a lot of the rentals they want a lot of money for them.
Yeah, we're losing businesses, and you read about couldn't work out a deal with the landlord, or
right.
Landlord didn't fix up the building.
Yeah, they didn't want to put any money into it, or they didn't want to, work with the business to have the business grow. I mean, that's the tough part.
Yeah.
I've had that with my own experience, just to find places to rent for the makerspace, just to find a small, I don't know anything huge, but something small to be able to rent. And
yeah, because you guys,
I looked around, and everything I found is I'm barely enough just to get a few members a month to be able to afford just keeping the place open where I'm at now. Where other places, they want this huge space rented out. They don't want to rent just a corner out. They want either the big,
They don't like the incubator idea, right?
Right. They want this big huge, business coming in, big corporation that has money. We're not going to get those in the area until we have places that are affordable enough for the small business to grow. And right now, it's just our realty market just isn't capable of doing that.
Yeah, it'd be nice if somebody had a, warehouse somewhere where they could, they weren't, we're not part of it, or.
Mm-hmm. Or even just, working with the small business. Oh, you want to start a new business? Here, we'll give you this discounted rate for a little while until you get the business up and running. If it starts profiting, then the range will go up to where it should be and help each other to make it grow. And there isn't a whole lot around the area to do that.
No.
That's actually the sad part. The only place, maybe is, if there's any way the city to be able to do any incentives for people to do that. But I don't really know what would be able to do that type of thing.
Yeah, any money we have now is pretty well stretched with loan programs and everything, but.
Right, because we already have in existence.
That's something they're going to have to come up with, in the future, the Commonwealth and the cities.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get,
Because that's the main thing is, your main huge corporate, tax base is dwindling. It's leaving the area. It's leaving around the country. I mean,
now the good news was, I was with someone the other day. We were walking around the railroad station, and I said, "Look at that empty building at the end there."
Right.
And I said, "I don't think there's anything in there." And the other guy said, "No, there isn't." 2 days later, I'm watching the news, and I think it's Berlin that's in there.
Oh, in Union Station there, yeah, Jim Berlin.
And he announced he's taking the end I was looking at.
Well, the end section actually has some of their corporate offices in now as well.
You mean the one along Sassafras?
Yep. They got the bottom first floor. It used to be I think it was the old Republican headquarters for a little while there.
Really? And before that, it was when I was a kid, it was for the Railroad Express,
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I know they had renovated it a few times.
But that's kind of good.
They have all their office space there, though, which is kind of cool.
That's kind of good news now. That
yeah.
building is,
Well, they've got a few different shops in there. The hookah, the Habibi. There's a hairstyling place, which is, I think it's Studio One hair clipping or something like that, which is kind of cool. And then they also have Iron Empire there.
And then some guy, I got one gentleman called me one time, wanted to develop on the west side of Sassafras.
Oh, yeah.
There's another warehouse there behind the Times, like. But, you got to get somebody that's interested.
Yep.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Kaz. Hi.
Good.
I had a chance I do travel back and forth across town occasionally. Going by 3rd Street by Sullivan's Tavern.
Right.
Friday and Saturday I went back through there. Anyways, what gives you the right to put these barricades all the way out in the street that you have to go all the way to the north of them and put your tires over the double yellow line to get by them? It says motorcycle parking only. And it's like homemade. It's not a city barricade,
Yeah. Is he doing it every week or just for Roaring Ashore?
Does it at St. Patrick's Day, too.
He's taking barricades and putting them on the street?
Oh, yeah. These big green barricades, and they're out. And they're sticking out far enough that you have to, go a little bit to the north of them to get by when you're in a car.
Yeah.
You're going over the double yellow line. Now, if I go over double line, you should get a ticket, because you're not supposed to do that.
Is he putting them on 3rd or on French?
On Sullivan's, on 3rd.
Yeah, is he putting them on the 3rd Street side or French Street side or both?
3rd.
Oh, the 3rd Street side.
And it's the whole length of the building. Now, come by there it's Friday, and some poor old senior citizen was walking in the street because he's got that patio stuff set up there, and the chairs are right up against the sidewalk, and you can't walk down the sidewalk.
Oh, they're illegal. He got away with it, and I think
that's radical. He's taken up 3/4 of the sidewalk. You cannot get a wheelchair through there.
This is why when I got chastised in the newspaper,
well, right. Anyways,
that we wanted to regulate them,
Right. Well, this poor guy's walking by there. He's in the street, and he tripped on a barricade, and down he went.
And see, that's why we demand as a city to be put on their insurance plan and indemnified against that, so that it's the property owner that has to do it if we give him permission. But we don't give him permission to go out to the sidewalk.
I'm talking about the street, the public street. He had him in the street.
No, he's not allowed to do that either. I'm going to check into that, though.
And here's the thing. I mean, it was a good event. And the people were parked everywhere, and he's probably taken up maybe 4 or 5 places there for a car could park, and there was only one motorcycle there, the whole distance between, one motorcycle. And he's doing that for his own benefit, and people are being deprived of parking on the street when they want to go to an event downtown.
Yeah, the only way he can do that is if he applies, for permission to do that.
On the street.
Yeah, and, because we've, for special things, we've done that. Like for the Warner when they have events or something.
Yeah, but the city does that, right?
Yeah, we usually go right through us, or in fact, not even the parking authority. You have to come through us.
And the city uses their barricades.
Well, what we do is we'll have the parking authority bag the meters or put barricades up.
Probably have city approved barricades in certain areas.
Because when we have road races where we have people used to have the marathons, they would put barricades up and.
Well, these barricades he has there, like I said, they're green, and it looks like he painted them with magic marker, motorcycle parking only, and they're real long. They're not like a standard barricade that's 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah.
These look like they're, at least 6 feet.
I've gone by there at night, and I've been disgusted how it looked like he was going out into the sidewalk, but now he's going out in the street too. I'm gonna look into it for you, okay?
Yeah, definitely something to check into.
Yeah, because I can tell you that I don't believe I've never seen anything come for approval, and I'll check who would issue them, okay?
What's a sign right on the handicap ramp too? I don't know.
What's it say there?
Or wherever they are. And sometimes on French Street, I've seen them put the barricade across the whole thing where you cannot walk down through there on the sidewalk.
Well, I can tell you this, that the last time we measured it, the part that he uses on 3rd Street, the enclosed area with his seats and everything?
With the so-called patio.
Yeah, that's illegal.
I mean, that's way out there. I mean, that's really ridiculous. Anyways, I can't put a barricade in front of my house for me to park there.
Right.
But, I mean, I've seen it. What really made me mad was seeing that poor guy fall down.
Well, yeah, that's not proper. And, you got a hospital down there, number 1, too, and people are nervous to get down there. They don't need that hassle,
And his barricades he just has one end on them, and the other end is laying on the street. What I'm saying, they're going down at an angle. He doesn't have stand on each end, they're laying at an angle.
Yeah. I just think for years they've been afraid to address that issue there, but I'm going to bring it up to various people, okay?
Monkey around the street and somebody, I would be suing him if I fell down because of that. That's wrong.
I will check in and I'll report what I hear back.
Okay, thanks.
Even if it's negative, so that way the public knows.
Yeah, we at least got to find out what's going on and how to address it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
But thank you for calling.
Bye.
That's why, I got in trouble when council wanted to look at all these things and to, charge them a fee and to have the engineer okay them and make sure they stay to what we say. Because the things that are important were the sidewalk has to be ADA approved.
Right.
But not even just for ADA, you got to be able to get people to walk on there. I mean, it's a public access.
It has to be right away.
And what we're doing is we're saying, okay, we're being nice and we're giving you part of our public access to help you out, but you got to meet us halfway, okay?
Yeah, there has to be a balance. There also has to be, within regulations of some sort.
Because, you've been in big cities where you walk by and people are eating lunch. They don't bother you.
No, there's also, enough sidewalk that there's enough room to get around and they're not taking up the whole, people still have to get by.
Even if it is tight, if they don't bother you and you're okay,
able to get through.
Yeah.
The main thing is, being able to get through. If you're not able to get through, then that's kind of a big problem.
Yeah, because we take in consideration, get the fire hydrants. But I'm going to look into that one because that one bugged me for a while.
Yeah, might as well check into it.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, we don't need spectrum up here. We need help.
What do you mean?
We don't have any signal.
Where? You mean on TV?
Yeah.
I just had one when I left home. When did that go out?
Went out of mine. Maybe I got to reboot it.
Yeah, I wonder if they don't have any wiring, I don't think, do they? Yeah, they do.
Somebody must have cut the wire on 38th Street.
Yeah, because that's a mess up there. I just came through there.
It's a mess.
Well, you know what?
I go to Grand View and over the Lake View and down.
I didn't know it when I got up. You know what the problem is, John? The poor guys are working so fast trying to change as they go. There's no arrows. You get up to like a bunch of barricades and you have to figure out which lane do I go in.
They cut a hog with that. They should have just came in and took their grinder, cleaned it all up, patched the holes that were below the surface and started all over.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Doing some of that at night instead of in the middle of business hours.
Sometimes some cities, they demand it. Of course, they pay more, but.
Right.
Yeah, he was saying we should do it at night,
Oh, yeah, the major cities all do road work at night. But, this end of the state, we're the leftovers.
Yes, we are. We act that way, though. We don't demand things.
Well, that's true. It's just I got my cable bill the other day, and there it is, franchise for Erie so much. And what did the mayor do when he got in it, a couple years ago? He took away the money that DJ was doing a great job for.
Yeah, Cat TV was utilizing it to keep the place running, and they're using it for other means now.
And where did that money go?
Well, it's in the general budget now. It's a line item. It's there.
Yeah, what good is it in the general fund?
Well, we use it to pay other bills, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's all the other bills that
add up as well. You guys better sharpen your pencils and get ready come this fall.
Why? What's coming this fall?
Well, we're going to have to need money for everything.
That's going to. I remember my friend who used to be here working when we worked together. We had what we called the realization that even if we did everything right,
there's always still something going to be.
We were still going to be in trouble in the future.
Oh, of course.
Because you got declining. You got to look at reality.
Declining, unfortunately. I mean, that's the main thing is we can't.
The assessed value is going down, so we have to increase taxes to keep the same amount.
Right.
You're not growing, so if you're growing, you got extra money coming in. You don't see it.
Right. Well, decline. You kind of have to start cutting stuff. Unfortunately, I mean that's just the nature how it has to be.
There's not much more to cut around here. I'm being truthful with it.
Yeah, you're being truthful.
I mean, it comes down to really personnel. I mean, if you want to cut personnel, you got to figure out, okay, where can we cut that we don't hurt anymore,
Oh, you got to start privatizing.
Well, sometimes you can, and, we did that with janitorial.
Yeah,
and, they've looked at, over the years, they've looked at refuse.
nobody stood over them.
Well, what if we looked up, start from the top down? I mean,
What do you mean?
Start at the mayor's office and see what, the money, where a lot of the money and stuff's going up from there, and then work your way down to the lower,
Well, there's not much in supplies, I can tell you that. Okay? It's mostly in wages and benefits, so.
Well, that's the main thing to be looking into.
But, everybody looks like, okay, let's say we cut the mayor down to 50 or 60.
Right.
That's $30,000 a year, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you can cut everybody else, you can do that, okay? But, after a while, some things are contractual and you can't,
Right, unfortunately that's the problem, getting stuck in contracts.
So the only people who are going to be affected are going to be the at-will when,
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that's always a tough problem is because of, contracts and seeing.
Yeah, and a lot of them are, some are binding, some aren't,
Right.
You have that all over.
Yeah, I said to somebody one time, you want to cut the budget in government? It's not hard at all. Just decide who do you want to, cut.
Well, it's just all like the sand replenishment. Everybody's going nuts for the sand replenishment. You recall when St. George owned the sand docks?
Yeah, a long time, yeah.
He went out in the lake and got the sand and brought it into his place there, and he sold the sand and the gravel.
Yeah, now you can't draw it from the bottom of the lake as much.
So...
now they got EPA rules that because it's... Remember when they used to put the sand... Well, they used to put the sand suckers out there. Remember, John?
That's what he used to do, and he used to sell the sand and gravel.
Bring the barges out there and just drop
I remember they used to do the dredging and stuff. They would dig out, like they do that in Dunkirk. They'd dig out the harbor. You can't do that as much anymore.
Well, they can dig it out, but now they got to figure out where they're going to put the stuff.
Right. Yeah, they can't just put it out on the beaches or sell it and stuff because it's...
All the good sand goes up to Kearney and Ashtabula.
Yeah.
And we get gravel, and they call it sand.
Well, John, what was that? The Emperor wore new clothes?
Yeah, he sure did. But I see where they paved some of the state there between Arby's and Mercyhurst, that one little section. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Doesn't make sense.
I don't know either, unless...
Well, are they going through and doing the whole road, or are they only
doing
sections?
they're going all the way to Old French, I believe.
Yeah, they're going all the way up to Old French, and the whole thing here is...
it's all the way from the breakfast place, from almost the city line over there to...
They're going all the way over to Rice Avenue.
Yeah, which is, just past the breakfast place there a little bit.
Well, that way they're replacing all of it, and it'll all look a lot better. It's just getting it done.
But it's just like, why did they pave up there by off of Lakeview, that one little section?
Which one?
Lakeview.
I don't know.
They don't get any traffic up there. They get a little bit.
Well, they do their studies and,
Well, it's because of Mercyhurst Prep and all that up there.
Could be.
We got dollars talking to the people. I think what they should do, or you should do, bring out a suggestion of streets to be repaired during paving season to City Council, and let City Council make it as a whole how to pave.
Let us make the decision.
Yes. This way we know there won't be any guys with a big buck saying, hey, my road's a mess. Well, my road's been a mess since 1999, 2000. Nothing has been touched.
That's why we were hoping this, if we got this $500,000 every year from the casino, we could use part of it.
Yeah, to pave some of the roads. The main thing is cost.
But, along with police and fire and vehicles and...
Yeah, but you got to get capital improvement in the last 25 years, don't you, in that sense?
Yeah, but what do you get, what we should do, and it's be very unpopular, is to just every year designate a portion of the taxes to road repair.
I think a mill should be in the...
What?
I think we should raise it a mill.
I've said that, be honest with the public.
Not very happy about it, but what are you going to do?
But if I came up to you, John, and I said, look, you're going to yell at me, and that's fine, but I'm going to promise you that every year there's going to be $1 million, or not that, I'll just use a rough figure. There's going to be like $2 million in there to pave roads with. Every year, okay? And we're going to have a plan that eventually every part of the city will be done,
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but and I think people could accept that if council would separate the money and say, It's in a special account. It can't be used for anything else.
Designated just for that specific.
We did that to school district when we bought technology. We designated like 1 mil taxes to technology.
Right.
And we every room got computers, and the school got rewired, you know.
Yeah, that way then it's covered, and nobody can't touch it for anything else but.
Yeah, and if people see that, they're okay with that, you know.
Well, they know what the money's going to, and they know what, you know.
Well, I still think you should tax the Gannon and everything else.
Well, we did. You know what?
Unfortunately, you can't tax the nonprofits because of.
Why not? They're making money.
I'm going to tell you something. I had a conversation. I'm not going to tell you who with. I had a conversation with a legislator that wasn't quite sure how this game worked. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I said, it kind of was like, well, why do you allow it? And I go, no, it's not us. We do not go out and say Gannon's tax exempt. We don't.
No, they have to file it through the state and the federal government to be.
Well, they follow through the state, and then the local assessment board is with the county.
Right.
So, you know, that assessment board makes a decision. Now, if we don't like it, like we don't with the hotels, and we don't with a couple other things, then we can go and challenge them in court. But the broad term of that nonprofit status that the Commonwealth set up is really hard to beat.
Yeah.
You know, there's like 7 criteria, and it's not hard to meet them.
No, it's not at all.
And you're right, John. Like, for instance, the football field at prep, okay? What's that really got to do with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you go into other stuff like, you know.
Well, isn't like the Bayfront Convention Center and the hotel next to it, that's all nonprofit
what really
as well.
got me is when I found out they were renting rooms to the bikers.
Yeah, who's that, Gannon?
Gannon.
Yeah, see, and at that point, that should be taxable.
It's true.
And even if you have to segregate that portion of their tax bill, how about this one, John? Nobody has money, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention any names. They're all, you know, and they don't have pilot agreements with the city. But then you pick up the news and you find out various arenas, stadiums, venues, you know, entertainment venues are named after these places, right?
True.
Yep.
You know, I would love to see them give us a pilot. You know, give us $100,000, $200,000 a year.
Yeah, a donation of some sort, or be able to fund something.
That we could count on it.
Right.
You know, if they're worried about it being squandered, here's my promise.
You know, I took a ride over Little Italy the other morning.
Yeah.
There's no Italians over there anymore.
Not as many, no. There's a few, but not many, I can tell you that.
They're using that for a ploy, and it doesn't make sense. But, hey, what can we do?
Well, there's a few Italians there, but not many, John. And I can remember when I was with the Mazzini, and they came to us for kind of their blessing. They call it Little Italy. And they put that sign up at 16th and Walnut, remember?
Yes.
By the church. And,
St. Paul's.
Yeah, and we said, hey, you know what? It's not really Little Italy anymore. I mean, that's not degrading. I mean, look at Little Italy once was German, then it became Italian.
True.
And now you got the new immigrants in there. You know, you had some Hispanic population is in there, and then you had some, you know, various people as they come into Erie have taken over that section. But you're right. You know, if they want to call it Little Italy, you know, a lot of Italians still go to the church. There's a few living there, a few businesses, but the Little Italy we knew, yes, it's gone, and no less than what we used to call.
Well, it's more or less just a stereotype name for the area. That's about a lot of what it is.
And we had a Polish section that was, you know,
right.
vibrant. We had an Irish town, and
we had them all
over the Rhine, the German area, you know. But they're all gone now. The bakeries the restaurants and the bakeries that made that unique, that area.
Yeah, unfortunately, those closed up because they couldn't survive, or they're just getting older and people didn't want to take over the business, so they just closed up.
My hope is that the new immigrants start restaurants and all that too. You know that.
Right.
You know,
well, that comes back to the thing of, the realty market of having it favorable for
growing
business.
Growing up, we had 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street. We had them all. We had Russian, we had blacks, we had Italians, we had immigrants there, we had Irish.
And I can remember riding around town picking up a loaf of bread in different parts of town.
Oh, of course, each one.
And I see they did a nice job of paving down at 6th and Parade. Wonder if that's because Erie Insurance.
Well, probably had something to do with it, but I won't lie to you.
All the way to Holland Street.
It also depends on what's underneath for a base, too. Some of these roads are the old concrete and brick, so as soon as you pave them...
Old cobblestone.
Yeah, they're still there.
It's a good base. I remember when the trolley car was running by our house.
Well, a lot of the bases, they move for the,
On
the
2nd
freezing,
Street.
so that's what cracks the pavement again.
And that's when they had the lithograph, and Hammond had their nursing school, their laundry was across the street.
Yeah, you're right.
One more question before I get off the air here. I'm going to go play a little solitary with myself. The schools they're selling, are they going to sell them to non-profits or to profitable organizations?
They didn't say, but the question came up if you read the newspaper article.
I don't read the newspaper here.
Well, my mother gives it to me.
They didn't even have the protest the Yankees did, or Boston did over the Yankees.
John, you should come over to the Indian side. Get rid of that Yankee stuff. But anyway, my mother brings me the newspaper because she gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an interesting article in there. I got to admit that the Times finally had an interesting article. And it was, should the abandoned buildings as they sit now, okay?
Mm-hmm. Taxable.
Yeah, should they be taxable? And I guess the assessment office at the county is looking into that, whether they should be taxed in the meantime. And of course, as they said in the paper, use determines a non-taxable status, not who owns it.
That's baloney.
But only in the case of the hotels because they got a special law passed.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, to prove their point, you know where the intermodal center is?
Yeah.
Part of the building is taxable. Okay?
And the other half isn't because it's...
Well, where the water authority is, like Port Authority used to be there, I don't know if they still are.
Yeah.
That part was non-taxable, okay? But the bus company had to pay taxes, and so did a couple other places. Another point is like that coffee shop up there in Peach Street.
Yeah.
You know,
I know
coffee culture?
Leak hormones.
Yeah, half that building is taxable because of the use.
Yeah,
okay?
It's a business.
So it is true, but in the case of the hotels, they passed a special law that changed that.
Well, I can show you discrepancies right away. You remember when Kellogg owned the Kohler property?
Yeah.
He was paying taxes on it.
Yeah. Who's not paying taxes now, though?
When they destroyed the building.
Yeah.
He had to pay so much money or they would take the building down. Well, now Hallman's owns that property.
Mm-hmm.
But, they say you have to be using the building to be it taxable. I don't buy it.
No, they're saying the use determines it. Like if the school district is using that for a school, it'd be non-taxable. But right now it's sitting there. It's not being used as a classroom.
But
And
still,
it should be
it's taking
taxable,
property up.
Yes, so should it be taxable now in its present state?
Where we go back to our buddy Mario Bagnoni.
Well, that's the thing is there's a lot of empty buildings and a lot of empty land. Those should be all
taxed
taxable.
on the land.
Yeah, there should be a land tax, not so much about a building.
Or just screwed that all up.
Well, we tax, like right now we tax on land and building combined, but the school districts, let's say they do sell to a nonprofit, it'll be untaxable then.
True. It's just like that place down in Bayview, that new apartment complex. You wait 3 years, they're going to sell to a nonprofit.
Well, we fought them as we tried to get some. We did get something in there that, we will rescind parts of that agreement if they put a nonprofit in there.
And that's in writing?
Yes.
The sunset provision. If they bail out, it has to go to...
That's why we were not going to give them their rezoning based on when they said they talked about a 513C going in there.
Yeah.
And we immediately saw, red flags because 1/3 of the building would be taxable, but 2/3 would not be.
Well,
how come we don't have a tax code that taxes on empty properties or buildings that are vacant? Like, why are we just only taxing on the buildings and not just empty property?
Mario tried that, and he almost had it, right?
Yes, Joe Borgia didn't go along and vote.
Wasn't it Joyce vetoed it too or something?
Joyce vetoed it, and Borgia went along with her veto.
Yeah, and the council at the time passed what they called what they call land tax based.
Yeah.
They put what it said was, you still tax the property, the houses,
Right.
but you place a bigger emphasis on land rather than the property, rather than the building.
Acres, I'm taxed for 5 acres. If the guy next door to me only has 1 acre, he's taxed on 1 acre.
Because
it comes out evenly then, because I got more than he does.
You want to make more of an incentive for, for people to do something with the building. You want to have it where the taxes are going to be higher for something that's
the incentive
vacant and empty than if there was for something in there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, John.
Pardon?
Correct me if I was wrong, but the way the tax was supposed to work was the incentive was that if you're sitting there paying a lot of taxes on empty land, right?
Yes.
And because the premium was, like right now, if you have empty land, you pay a lot less.
Right, it should be the opposite.
Well, they were charging you just like if you had a structure there.
True.
So what Mario's basis was that, if you're sitting there paying taxes like as if you had a building there, then it would kind of tell you should put up a building.
Right. Or you want to do something with the property. I mean,
you find some way to get some revenue.
Yeah, if there's activity coming into the property, then it would, that's when you'd want to work on doing more of a tax break for them. But if it's buildings sitting empty and vacant and empty lots, and they're getting, less taxes for it, then it's...
Opportunity to buy a whole bunch of property.
Yep, and he...
On the south side of you.
There you go.
All those lots.
He's trying to sell them now.
Well, why don't you buy them and then start a church and incorporate your house in that, and you won't have to pay taxes anymore.
Padre Kaz? That'd be scary.
Have a great day.
Hey, John.
Yes.
We're having trouble turning down the crowds. I was at the breakfast place today.
Yeah.
And I got jumped by 3 people. And they demand that the man with the voice, they want to see his face.
Well,
They want to know what...
They want you on the air.
They want you on the air, John. They're tired of you.
Hey, I will.
We got an empty seat.
I'm getting better and stronger, and I'll come down with my folio, and we'll go to it.
Yeah, they're demanding. They said, we have an empty seat here, so...
Yeah, there's empty chairs. We got plenty of room.
We'll have to get on with my buddy John Steiner.
Yeah, you know what? We were talking about him today, too, and... I tell you what, people don't call in all the time here, but man, I get blistered when I go out in public.
Oh, of course.
And I tell them, why don't you call in the show? I can
call
use
in.
it.
A sleeping dog will lie, but if you kick him, look out.
Yeah, so I tell these people, call up,
That's what you're there for. You're not there to sit and stare.
No, I mean,
Exactly.
So
you want to help the people.
You have to relive everything. It's going to be a sad day. I haven't gone to a save and eye game for quite a while.
Yeah.
Now it's gone completely.
Do you remember in the old, it'll be back next year, won't it?
No. How can it come back next year?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do they consider Mill Creek city or county now?
County.
Oh, boy, that is it'd be one high school.
They'll have a county all-star game.
All you can do is have one school against everybody.
Yep.
Unless they put Mill Creek into the city side.
No, I don't think that. You mean in the playoffs and stuff like that?
Well, no, I mean if they change the game to...
I see where you're going.
If they gave the city and Mill Creek together, like, McDowell and the school...
All independent games. So does Cathedral Prep. Because they have a larger enrollment.
Because, right now, the only kids going to play for the city will be the city...
Tech and East.
Well, no, it would be the Erie High School and Prep. Right?
Yeah.
Erie and Prep will be the only... I can remember that game. Remember Bob Kazabucky used to stand up front and sell tickets for a week? Remember that?
I sure do.
That was a big game. I mean, people, man,
I played before 15,000.
When I remember when 10 and 12 was considered good.
61, 15,000 people.
Yep. It was a big game.
I remember when Easton Academy played, the stadium was overloaded.
Yeah, there was one game, 20,000, Tech Prep.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't do that as much anymore.
No, well, John's right. This game was huge, and it's all for eye care. All glasses and stuff, for kids.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff doesn't happen as much anymore.
If you have a wonderful team, they'll show up.
Yep.
I'll have a great afternoon.
Thanks, John.
Maybe he'll come down to John and I just facing off in the middle of the field.
That could be possible.
That'd be ugly, though. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
John will never come on the show after I get done with him, but I'm just told he's going to kill me. Go ahead, caller.
Afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I don't want to be rude.
No, go ahead.
I think your guest doesn't give people a chance to finish their statement. He butts in too fast.
Who, me, you mean?
Good day.
Huh? Oh.
Me? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think he means me. Are you still there?
I'm not sure.
Might be me, but...
It happens from time to time, unfortunately.
Yeah. But John and I, we know each other so much that...
You guys kind of finish your sentences and such.
He's coming on, though. I'll get him to come on.
There we go.
Yep. I'm going to get him to come on. We got one other guest planned. I haven't finalized it yet. She has an interesting topic. We'll see if we can bring her on.
Okay. That'd be kind of cool to have on here.
But, yeah, we'll see if we can do it. It's not going to be easy, but...
Then work things out and see how things come through.
Let's see, what do we got coming down the pike now?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's coming up. I know Celebrate Erie's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, that is.
Same with Blues and Jazz.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hello, you there? Turn your phone down a little bit. I mean, your TV.
Hello?
Yes, you there? Hello? They forget we got a 10-second delay on there. Are you okay yet? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you okay there?
Are you okay there?
Yeah, we have a 10-second delay. That's why you're hearing different things. Go ahead.
What are you guys doing with my money?
Well, what do you mean?
Oh, now you can hear me. It's not 10-second delay no more?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. You said something about money.
What are you guys doing with taxpayers' money?
Specifically, what do you mean?
What's this commercial for? What are you guys doing with our money?
Right here, you mean?
Oh my God, yes.
No, this show is not. This is not. This is on the city's channel.
You don't know.
Shout out to charisma. As I make say bye.
What?
No idea.
Couldn't hear what that one was all about. But I can assure him this is not a.
This is more of a questions and answers, and seeing what's going on throughout the city.
Yeah, this doesn't cost a taxpayer. This is on the channel. The employee that helps us out is already paid for. The media's down there. Must be a big day.
Yep. Something of some sort.
Yeah, another press conference. But yeah, coming down the pike, looking at we're rolling out more things with the comprehensive plan as things.
Which is kind of cool. These things are coming in the works and things are going on.
It's a slow process, and everybody thinks, nothing's happening, but it is.
That's the main thing, because it's slow. I mean, we have a generation that expects it right here and right now, and it's like some stuff you can't do it right here, right now.
Well, yeah,
it has to be small steps at a time before things can.
There's a lot of groundwork being laid out, and there'll be a lot of good things happening.
Yeah, I said we got a few festivals coming up that'd be kind of nice. They were starting to get the 8 Great Tuesdays. They're going to be going on as well. It's
amazing. I think about it, summer is almost...
Yeah, we're already halfway through, at least, or more.
Yep. But
yeah, definitely, a few different events going on. Things are coming along. So it'd be nice to see, the city, try to put in more for getting business in and making it harder for people just to have empty property anymore. Because having something vacant that's not being used is kind of...
I took a little tour this past week with, so I'm looking around the town a little bit. And there's a lot of work to be done, and there's some things we're going to have to do to change certain rules.
Yeah. Well, you were saying before about the proposal that somebody had proposed on taxing empty property, empty buildings more than having if it was being occupied.
Yeah.
Now, how come... Has that been reproposed at some point again somewhere, or is it just one of those that...
We do that with the state a lot, and we talk to them, but nothing ever gets traction. It's just.
What about anything locally, though?
We can do so much, but we can't circumvent state law. That's the problem.
Oh, right, yeah, because you're limited by the state law and what you're able to do.
And state law has to change. I was talking with a legislator last week and telling him a little bit of the problems we have, that things we can't do that everybody thinks we can, but...
Right, which is higher up the food chain, kind of.
And I'm not trying to demean like the city of Corey, let's say, but in the way the class system is set up in Pennsylvania, where you have first class city of Philadelphia, the second class of Pittsburgh, and then everybody else is kind of like either a third class city, a borough, or a township level.
Right, which is smaller.
Yeah, but the city class, you almost need to have a special class of cities which
it's
are...
a transition period, I would think.
But like there's certain cities like Reading, the Allentowns, and the Eries are in a little different situation than the Corys, the St. Marys, and the Newcastles, you know.
Right.
A little different. They need a little different help.
Yeah, see how things go.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, I just have a question.
Sure.
Does Pennsylvania have a day pass for fishing license? If someone comes from out of town, can they get a day pass?
You know what? The guy that would know that is either Ed Kissel, and I do have his number.
Okay, let me have his number.
Let me see if I still have it. If anybody would know, he's with the Sons of Lake Erie.
Yeah.
And
I would think there would be, because that would help promote people coming into the area.
Yeah, he's a... If I can only learn to use my phone, I'd be okay. There we go.
Unfortunately, the smartphone's smarter than...
The only thing smart about the phone is the phone, not the guy using it. Yeah, so you have a visitor up here, right?
Right.
Yeah, outside that, you'd have to call the Fish and Game Commission.
Okay.
But,
either check out certain places that sell fishing license and see if they actually have the day pass there.
let's see if I don't have it here, I got his number at home.
I'll look in the phone book.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to give me a call I'm going off the air in 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
If you'd like to call me, I will call him for you, and I'll get you an answer, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You have my number?
Yep.
Which one, the 4 number?
Pardon?
You have the 4, not this one.
No, not this one. You gave me another one.
I'll give you my one here. It's, call me at City Hall here, and hang on 1 second. I don't use this number too much.
Yeah, he doesn't have it memorized. It's in the phone someplace.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I had my own number upstairs, I was different. Here we go. Call me at 870-1293 in about 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And I will call this guy and ask him, you need a day pass.
Okay.
And I'll ask him if it's possible, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be nice information to have.
Yeah, I think they do, but, I'm not...
I don't know for sure. So.
I don't fish that,
Right.
But if Ed Kissel don't know, nobody knows.
Oh, there you go then. At least we have somebody to contact to find out.
He's Mr. Fisherman in Erie.
There you go.
But...
Well, that's, one thing is, do we have any, the fishing competitions come in the area locally, or not really?
Yeah, they used to have a bass tourney, I think, and...
Cause I know, in Dunkirk, there would be a few different ones that would come through.
There was a couple big ones that were here. Go ahead, caller.
You got nothing to say.
Hello?
Hello. I had a question about Central. I wanted to know what you guys are going to do about it. My little brothers and sisters will be going to high school soon. I wanted to know what's going to happen. I know that they just finished the unburned part. What they're going to do about the burned part? School starts in a month.
Repairing the school for Central Tech.
Oh, what they're going to do, repairing the schools?
I'm sorry?
Hello?
Yeah, what they're doing for repairing the school. On what?
They got some volunteers that are coming in. Are you still there, ma'am?
I'm here.
You're talking about what they're going to do to repair Erie Tech over there, Erie High School?
Well, Erie High School, Central Tech, either way.
I'm getting a feedback on your phone a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing the TV in the back. You want to know what they're going to do to fix that school, right?
Yes.
I know they got volunteers coming in. It's a group that did Lincoln last year. And of course the district is working on it. I really don't have anything to do with them. You could call the school district on that. But I do know that they have a big group of volunteers coming in to help with the paid people that are doing where the fire was.
So there's plans and works on repairing the building.
So
and
hopefully
the school to have it ready.
Their plan is that they want to get the majority of it, from what I understand, done by the opening of school.
Okay.
Even if there's a little bit more to work on. A lot of the problems was you had the air was compromised in there a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Probably because of the smoke damage and,
right.
and the ventilation through the system.
But if you can call the school district, I'm sure they could upgrade you a little better. But there is a volunteer group going in there, I believe, this week or next week. And I know some of the people that are involved with that, and they did a nice job with Lincoln. They've been picking out a different school every year, and just so happened the fire made their mind up.
Right. Yeah. They kind of had to do it right away then.
But I hope everything goes right because it's a huge move.
Okay, well, thank you. That's all. That's the only question I had.
Give them a call down to the school district, and I'm sure they can. They're sure they can answer your questions.
Will they answer it truthfully, or just tell me what I want to hear?
Well, you know what? If you'd like to call me sometime, I will find out the truth for you. Okay?
Well, thank you.
Do you know how to get a hold of me?
Yes.
I have my number's in the phone book. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to talk to me off the air, I'd be glad to.
Yeah, always get some more information.
Yeah, I'll be glad to do some research for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. But I think we got to go off the air. I think Mike is giving us a signal.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah.
How did it go so quick?
Time flies.
Yep.
Especially when you get all kinds of.
I got to make an announcement then.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we will not have the show next week, only because I have a last-minute thing that came up, family matter that I can't change, and so unless you want to run the show yourself.
We'll probably just be on a week afterwards.
Yeah, we'll be just gone for a week then.
Yep, we'll have more ideas and different topics by then.
Can I depend on you being back, maybe?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back.
So once again, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Let's see, I think I put your phone number in there, didn't I?
Yeah, I gave it to you the last time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.